Have you ever wondered what makes some leaders truly stand out? You know, the ones who inspire trust, loyalty, and connection without even trying too hard. Maybe you've thought it's all about having a powerful title, being super charismatic, or always being the loudest voice in the room. But here's the thing, it's not any of that. If you're new here, hi, I'm Elizabeth, former United Nations Senior Advisor, and through my work, I've advised world leaders and Fortune 500 CEOs, and I've captured these insights in my book, Human Skills, an essential manual for succeeding and thriving in the workplace. Today we're talking about empathy, a core human skill and the hidden superpower that some of the best leaders have but is often overlooked. And let's be honest here, empathy doesn't always get the credit it deserves. It's often seen as something soft, feminine, or secondary to traits like decisiveness or confidence. But here's the twist. Empathy isn't a weakness. In fact, it's one of the most powerful and essential traits a leader can possess. So why is empathy so important for leadership? And why does it get such a bad rap? Let's dive into that today. Let's start by flipping the script on what we think about empathy. Society tends to view it as a soft skill, one that's often relegated to women or caregivers. I mean, have you ever heard someone say something silly like, oh, she's too nice to be a leader, or he's too emotional to make tough decisions? But what if we're thinking about empathy all wrong? Empathy isn't about being soft. It's not about caving into every person's emotion or being a pushover. It's about truly understanding others. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, not just for a moment, but consistently. It's about being able to listen to someone's perspective, even if it challenges your own. Think about the best leaders you know, whether it's in the workplace, at home, or even in your community. They get people. They understand how to connect with others on a human level. And that's precisely why they inspire trust and loyalty. They know when to push and when to pull. They know when to speak up and when to listen. And that's not a weakness, it's strategy. In fact, it's emotional awareness. So why is empathy so important than ever, especially in today's world? Well, that's because we're living at a time of great disruption. Our workplaces are fragmented, our communities are divided, and with the rise of remote work, it's harder than ever to feel connected. People are more stressed, they're more isolated, and they are more burnt out. And in these times, if leaders don't have empathy, they will miss the boat. Because without it, you risk people feeling overlooked, unheard, or unappreciated. And when that happens, trust erodes and collaboration falls apart. Leaders need to be able to connect with their teams on an emotional level, not just manage tasks, but actually manage human relationships. That's because a team that feels understood, they will always outperform one that feels disconnected. I think we've all been in workplaces where the top-down approach to leadership just doesn't work anymore. Maybe you've had a boss who demanded results but didn't stop to understand why and how the team was actually feeling. How did that impact you? Did you feel motivated? Did you feel like your voice was being heard? Now contrast that with a leader who asks, how are you really doing today? What do you need from me? Now that's empathy in action. And it's the type of leadership that makes people want to show up and give their best. Here's the thing. Empathy isn't just a nice-to-have trait for leaders. It actually enhances decision-making. Leaders who listen, who empathize with different perspectives, can make better decisions because guess what? They have a full picture of the situation. Because when you understand where someone is coming from, you're more likely to find solutions that benefit everyone. And here's the kicker. When people feel understood, they are more likely to collaborate. They trust you. They trust that you are making decisions not for yourself, but for the collective good. Take the workplace, for example. Let's say if you're managing a team and one person isn't performing well, empathy will help you to figure out the root of the issue. Maybe it's personal. Maybe it's workload related, or maybe they just need more support. But instead of brushing it off or pushing them harder, an empathetic leader can dive deep and ask, what's going on here? Now that's the leadership that gets results, that human-centered results. And let's not forget the impact empathy has on retention. Employees leave managers, not companies. I'm going to repeat that again. Employees leave managers, not companies. People leave when they don't feel valued. They leave when they don't feel like their voice is being heard or understood. Empathy, on the other hand, drives engagement because it shows people that they're being seen, that their feelings are valid, that they matter to you. When someone feels like their leader understands them, they're more likely to stick around. They will go above and beyond. They will give you their best. They will be loyal to you and the company. Okay, so now that I've made my case, how do we develop this empathy? It's not something that we just either have in us or we don't have in us. In fact, empathy is a core human skill, and like any other skill, it can be learned, practiced, and refined. So here are a few ways to start building empathy in your leadership practice. Listen actively. This means listening to understand, not to respond. When someone is speaking, please focus on them. Put your phone down. Stop thinking about your next point or your next task. Really hear them out. Ask questions. Instead of assuming you know what someone else needs or feels, say, how does that make you feel? Or what can I do to help? This shows you care and it opens the door for more meaningful conversations. Be present. Sometimes the most empathetic thing you can do is just be there. No advice, no solutions, just your presence. Sit with someone in their discomfort and let them know they are not alone. Put yourself in others' shoes. Always try to see the world through the other person's eyes. Whether they're on your team, a client, or even your spouse, how might they be feeling right now? What might they need from us? In a world that's increasingly divided and stressed, empathy is no longer optional, it's essential. We need leaders who can bridge divides, who can create safe spaces, who can inspire people to come together and collaborate for the common good. And that takes empathy. Now imagine a future where we lead with more understanding, where teams are more connected, where people feel heard and valued. That's not just an utopia, it's a possibility that starts with empathy. So if you want to be a leader who drives real change, who connects with people on a human level, and who inspires loyalty and trust, then empathy is your superpower. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you're faced with a tough decision, a difficult conversation, or a challenge in your leadership role, lead with empathy. Ask yourself, how can I understand this person's perspective? How can I show them I hear them, I see them, I care for them? Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like and share it with a friend who might need a reminder of the power of empathy in leadership. I'd also love to hear from you. What's your experience with empathetic leadership? Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.